If you're thinking about buying a home in Lexington, Kentucky, but want to really understand the process start to finish before jumping in, then this video is for you. And I've gotta say, if you've bought or sold in other states before, Kentucky does have its quirks. I lived in 15 different states and countries before relocating here myself a few years ago, and when I did, I was overconfident about the home buying process. I mean, I've been in real estate full time since I got out of the Army in 2018 and have closed literally hundreds of transactions. It couldn't be that different, right? Wrong. But fear not, after today's video on the 10-step home buying process, you will not make the same mistakes that we did. Let's dig in. Step number 1, identify your goals. Because it's not just the fun stuff like thinking through what you want your kitchen to look like, or the number of beds and bathrooms you want, or neighborhood amenities. It's bigger than that. The thought you put in now will make or break it for your future self. Ask yourself these questions. Realistically, how long do I see myself staying in this next home? Can my family grow into it? Will my knees still like those stairs in 10 years? What community changes are happening that might impact my home value or how bad the traffic is? And what do I plan on doing with the house when I'm ready to move on to my next one? That last one is especially important in Lexington because what works as a rental and what works when selling can be very different. I have a background in real estate investing, so understanding if your goal is to rent or sell down the road will really help me help you with the analysis part. I'm talking neighborhoods, projected rental income, or what updates can increase home value and help it sell fast when the time comes. All these things are incredibly important for you to think through and understand up front. But knowing what questions to ask yourself is something that all buyers, and especially first-time home buyers, really struggle with, which is why I made a home wish list worksheet for you and your family to go through together. So if you want a copy, just hit me up. I will send it right over. I'm also doing a full-blown video breakdown on just this step in the near future, so subscribe so you don't miss it when it comes out. Step number 2 in the home buying process is to decide on a budget. And I'm not talking about how much the lender says you can qualify for, because most lenders out there will tell you the absolute max, because the more you spend, the more they earn. But just because you can doesn't mean you should, especially since there are a lot of expenses to consider outside of just your mortgage payment. Highly recommend starting with your big picture ideal monthly housing allowance and working backwards from there. You can take that number to your lender and ask them, what price point home can I purchase and still stay within this budget? Also ask them to share the numbers breakdown for different loan types because there are a ton of different loan options out there, each one with different down payment requirements, insurance requirements, interest rates, and grants or assistance. Taking all of this into consideration is the way to find out what works best for you specifically. Side note, if you don't already have a lender, please let me recommend one of my local favorites, because not all lenders are created equal. And hate to say this, but not all are worthy of our trust. Things like hidden fees, inexperience, and not understanding local requirements can seriously impact your buying process in the worst way. One last thing on budget. I mentioned earlier that there are a lot of expenses to consider outside of just your mortgage payment, so let's hit on that real quick. I'm talking things like utilities, your water, electric, gas, internet, etc. Monthly services like lawn care, pest control, mosquitoes are savage, home security, etc. Quarterly services like changing air filters, getting your sprinkler system turned on or off seasonally, or annual services like getting your HVAC serviced, exterior pressure washing, annual termite inspection. And there's also maintenance, because now when things break, it's your responsibility to fix them and not a landlord. And even if your home is perfect condition when we close, I promise the next week or day, there will be something that needs love. If all of these numbers are getting overwhelming, or if you're a nerd like me and just like to play around with numbers for fun, check out one of my favorite freebie tools at this link. You can adjust the numbers based on your goals, and the site will show you exactly what to expect monthly in numbers format and in a pie graph. I love it. Step number 3, see homes. So I take your home wish list and your budget, and with their powers combined, search for homes that fall within that criteria. Then you pick your favorites and I schedule and book the showings. When we're in the home, your job is the fun part. Get a feel for it. Do you like it? Can you picture yourself there? How does it feel to walk through that front door? And my job is everything else. The stuff that most buyers don't even know to look for or realize matters until it's too late. Like red flags, such as poor construction quality, sketchy DIY work, picking up on signs of moisture or deferred maintenance, old big ticket items that will be super expensive to replace, or weird floor plans that don't actually make sense, or green flags like cool upgrades that the seller's made, how this home compares to other homes I've seen in this price point, maybe incentives the seller might be offering, or the new Publix that's going in down the street. I will highlight these things as we go, and anything you have questions on, I will follow up with the answers if I don't already have them. I also bring the seller's property disclosure so we can review exactly what the seller has disclosed, good and bad, all in real time. And to keep everything straight, I organize it into your personalized house hunting spreadsheet. What we've seen, what's coming up, and notes on every property so nothing blurs together and decisions stay clear. Step 4, make an offer. It is time. You found the one. Now, our goal is to get the seller to accept our offer with the best terms and least money out of pocket as possible. This is an art and a science, and knowing local Lexington norms is imperative for not offending, yet still pushing the envelope to get you the best deal. And by this point, we'll have already reviewed the Kentucky purchase and sale agreement together, but here are 5 major decision points for you to keep in mind. Side note, if you're not working with me yet and haven't already seen a copy of this document, hit me up and I'll send it to you for review, because there is nothing worse than being asked to sign something that you've never seen before. I digress. The 5 major decision points are purchase price, which is how much you're offering to buy the home for, contingencies, which are conditions that must be met in order for you to move forward, like selling your current home before closing on this one, earnest money, or a good faith deposit to show the seller how serious you are, inspection period, which is the number of days you get to inspect the home and still keep your earnest money if you decide to back out, and finally, the requested amount of seller paid expenses. Sometimes this is thousands of dollars and sometimes this is nothing. Don't freak out. You will never go into this blind. I will pull the data on the neighborhood trends so we know what's normal. I'll call the listing agent and schmooze them for intel on the seller's motivations and what they're willing to accept. We'll have your lender run updated numbers down to the penny, and I will share a breakdown of what I would do if this were my offer. You'll have all the information possible for you to make the best decision for you and your family. Once the offer is submitted, the seller can either accept it as written, counter it with an alternative, or completely reject it. Counters are common, so expect a bit of a dance. It's all part of the process. Also, I love negotiation, so you're in great hands, promise. On to step number 5, inspections. Your offer has been accepted, congratulations. Okay, enough celebrating, we have work to do. Within 72 hours, you will submit your earnest money to the closing title company, and I will book the inspections that you have chosen to have completed. I strongly recommend a general home inspection by a fantastic inspector with years of experience as your first move. But in Central Kentucky, I also strongly recommend a radon inspection, as Lexington is known for super high radon levels because of our soil and limestone. A termite inspection, because we're in termite country. A sewer scope or septic inspection, depending on the property, because those systems are super expensive and not covered in the standard inspection. And recommend at least considering a mold and air quality test to see if there are moisture issues lurking behind the walls or the cabinets, because this is something that can become a health and money problem fast. But don't panic when the inspection report comes back and looks like a novel. A long report usually means the inspector just did a very thorough job. The goal is not a perfect house. Those do not exist. It's understanding what you're buying before it becomes your responsibility and flagging anything that might make you rethink the deal entirely. If you can, show up for the last 30 to 45 minutes of your general home inspection. That is when the inspector will walk you through the big ticket items, explain what's normal versus not, and answer any questions in real time. I will be there too, and together we'll help separate the noise from the real issues and identify what may be worth asking the seller to help with. I'll cover negotiations in step 7, so just hang tight. And if you want the full deep dive on inspections, queue up my video on 10 mistakes to avoid when inspecting a home in Lexington. Step number 6, the appraisal. So around the same time that we're ordering inspections, your lender is also ordering an appraisal. An appraisal is a third-party evaluation of the home to determine its fair market value. And here's the key thing to understand. The lender will not lend more than what the home is worth. So if the property appraises at contract price, perfect, we move forward. If it appraises higher than the purchase price, even better. That means you have instant equity. But if it appraises lower than what we agreed to pay, meaning that the value comes in under our contract price, we have a few options. We can challenge the appraisal using stronger, more relevant comps. We can go back to the seller, share the appraisal, and ask for a price reduction. You can choose to bring the difference to the closing table if it still makes sense for you financially, or we can negotiate a middle ground that works for both sides. And if none of these options feel right, walking away is always an option on the table. The good news is that appraisal issues are relatively rare here in Lexington. Most of my clients' purchases appraise at or above value, but if we do hit a snag, my job is to walk you through every option, explain the pros and the cons, and help you make the smartest decision for your finances and your long-term goals. The appraisal is not meant to be a deal killer. It is a safeguard that helps protect you from overpaying. Step number 7, it is time to negotiate. By this point, we will have all of your inspection results back along with the appraisal. We will review all of these results and decide what matters most. Again, every single home is going to have a huge list of items come back on that inspection report. The goal is not to hand the seller a nitpicky, all-inclusive list of tiny items. It is to focus on the big stuff that impacts safety, function, and your wallet. So, what do we typically ask for? We prioritize things like major health or safety concerns, big ticket items, and anything that could cause more damage if it's ignored. So think HVAC, radon, termites, roof leaks, crawl space or basement leaks, plumbing or sewer leaks, basically anything that's leaking. Moisture is a big one for me, since water where it's not supposed to be is arguably the biggest enemy of a healthy home. And once we have our list, we don't guess about how much things might cost. We get real quotes from vendors I've worked with before and trust to do quality work. This serves 2 purposes. First, it gives us real numbers to back up our request, so we're negotiating with credibility and not just pulling numbers out of thin air. Second, it lets you know exactly what you're signing up for if the seller does not agree, so you can make an informed decision about whether it's something you're comfortable taking on or want to walk away from. In negotiations, I'm a big fan of requesting seller credits instead of asking the seller to make repairs. If the seller agrees to do the repairs themselves, they're very incentivized to get it done as cheaply and as quickly as possible, and you're the one who has to live with that quality. Whereas credits keep you in control of the contractor, the materials, and the finished product. Now, if there's a situation that truly makes more sense for the seller to do the work, we can absolutely go that route, but we will be very specific about what gets done and who does it. That means licensed professionals, paid invoices, and likely a re-inspection to confirm everything was done properly with no sketchy DIY fixes around here. And the last thing we need to keep in mind when figuring out what we want to ask from the seller is, how popular is this home? Are there backup offers behind us? How motivated is the seller, and are they willing to go back on market as opposed to work with us? So who actually has the leverage? Sometimes the right move is pushing hard, but other times finding a creative middle ground that protects you while keeping the deal alive is the best answer. Either way, my job is to guide the strategy, communicate clearly, and help you make a decision you feel confident about long term. Step number 8, final details. Congratulations on a successful inspection and negotiation period. The hard part is over and we are in the home stretch. The final details include prepping for the move. Things like booking movers, ordering boxes, scheduling time off work, and getting a game plan in place. Also, setting up utilities to start the day of closing for your new house. So exciting. Scheduling a locksmith if you'd like your locks changed, or updating your address with the post office, or really just Amazon, most importantly, right? Banks, credit cards, subscriptions, anywhere else that sends you mail. And finally, coordinating closing details. If you're going to be out of town, I will set up a mail away closing or power of attorney. And if you're in town, we'll set a date and time to come in and sign in person. Details is my middle name, so I will ensure that all of this stays on track and you will be constantly updated and in the loop. Step number 9, closing. Within 48 hours of closing, we'll do what's called a final walkthrough of the home. This is our time to confirm that the property is in the same or better condition as when we went under contract, double check any of the repairs made by the seller, and make sure nothing unexpected popped up. Think of this as a quality check, not another inspection. Around the same time, your lender and the title company will send out a closing disclosure and a settlement statement for review. These documents will have an itemized breakdown of every dollar in the transaction: purchase price, credits, prorations, closing costs, and the exact amount that you will need to bring or wire to closing. I will review this too and double check that there are no surprises and that everything lines up exactly as expected. And finally, the fun part. We meet at the title company, sign the final paperwork, exchange keys, and officially make you a homeowner. From day one through closing and beyond, you are never getting rid of me. I will be right there to make sure everything is smooth, organized, and exciting exactly as it should be. And now, step 10, which is really step 1, I just didn't want to start with it, which is choose your guide, AKA real estate agent. Because look, anyone can find homes online. Anyone can unlock a door, and anyone can push paperwork, but not everyone can help you see around corners and avoid mistakes before they happen. Not everyone can navigate strategically, especially when hits the fan. And not everyone can or will fight for you. This process has a ton of moving parts, big financial decisions, and moments where having the right guide makes all the difference between a smooth, awesome experience and an expensive, stressful one. In case it's not obvious, I would like to be your guide. So if you're considering buying in or around Lexington, hit me up and we will jump right in. And if you want more information on Lexington, just keep watching. See you in the next video. Bye.